yourselves? When are you ready to come home to yourself? There's no other love like it. This channeled message will find you right when you need it, but I need you to make sure that you are ready for it, because this is a message that needs to be listened to entirely, not to start and stop in the middle and decide that it's not for you. So before you commit to this message, treat it with respect, okay? This message is for you if you have been feeling isolated lately, if you know that you are on a path for more, but sometimes feel like you don't know where to start, where you know you have it in you, you know that you were built to break generational cycles and patterns, but at times you get so caught up and you look in the mirror and you feel like sometimes you're just like the person that you resent the most, or you're just like the people that continue to perpetuate the cycle that's causing the most pain. This message is for you if you sometimes get so discouraged that you don't even start, but you know your soul is in a good place, but you are so afraid to lose control that you would rather lose opportunities, but that you would rather not start. This message is for you if you have been keeping yourself preoccupied, keeping your mind busy, keeping your emotions, your spiritual energy numb, so that you don't have to dive deep into the feelings. This is for you if you have recently realized, or you are on the path to realize, that breaking these generational cycles or breaking cycles within your own life requires more than just making money and working through it. It requires you doing the deep inner work. It requires you to have strong boundaries. You could be in this moment having estranged relationships with those close to you. You could be in the season of your life where you are being isolated because you are spiritually growing, where you are being nurtured from the inside out, and you need to be in sacred spaces where you need to be more alone. This is a message for the one who knows that there is more, but somehow in this stage of their life, they're doing everything right, but keep getting despair, keep hitting walls and dead ends, and keep having to take 2 steps back every time you take 2 steps forward. This message is for you if you have been feeling so much inner turmoil that is heavier than just your own, that is generations on your back, and you don't know where to start and you want more. But sometimes in the pursuit of more, you feel like you're doing worse than where you started, that you feel like it is easier to let go, to not try, to pretend that the life that you know that you deserve and that you can receive is too far away, and it's not for you. This message is for the one that knows within their spirit, knows within their heart, knows within their body, knows that God's promise for them is abundance on all form, is a healthy family dynamic, is a healthy financial situation, is healthy boundaries. This is for the message of the person, for the person who's doing the tough work by saying no, by saying goodbye, by not giving second and third and fourth and fifth chances, for the person who's not going back to the past because they know they deserve more. If this is you, if you are resonating with this, if you are ready to commit to the message, let's begin. I'm Thomjaná, a joy midwife, an oracle, a truth teller, and I am here to help the cycle breakers come home to their divine birthright, and that is a space, a life, a destiny that is perfect and entirely set aside for them, that you don't have to compromise and lie and live a life that you were told to accept. I am here to guide cycle breakers to liberation, to sovereignty, to give them the tools to liberate themselves so that they can walk right into that plot, that space of land, that space of life that God has set aside just for them, just for their uniqueness, because it is real and it is true. My joy is to give others joy, to bring joy, but to bring the tools so that others can have sustainable joy. And if you're already resonating with this message, feel free to subscribe, to share, to comment, to message me. I have been, the more energy I receive, the deeper the messages become. The first message that I'm receiving for you that you need to hear and understand is that don't let not being accepted. Don't let being the outsider, don't let not receiving the praise, the recognition, the support that you deserve block you from taking those leaps of faith, block you from walking into your purpose. You know what you want. You've sat with it. You've came to terms with all of your emotions time after time. And you get these leaps of faith where you know deep down, you get this intuitive nudge, you get that message, you get that sign, you get that dream, you get that feeling like, oh, it is time. I know this is for me. That confirmation, that wake-up call that is saying that it is possible to achieve what you need and what you deserve. But then the excitement fades. And then you feel as though that's not real life, that you were crazy, that was just a dream, just a nudge, and it wasn't real. Maybe you're receiving messages online that are telling you more is coming, but you are denying them. You're saying that it's not for you. You're saying that it's not your life because deep down there's a neglectful emotion, a neglectful inner child, or a shadow self that is so afraid of even more neglect or even more rejection that you aren't beginning. That as soon as you realize that the journey is going to be isolating, to get to where you deserve, to get to that achievement, that goal, that life, you freeze up, you stop, you put your mask back on and tell yourself that this life that you're living is enough and that it is sustainable and that you deserve it, but you don't. Your spiritual team wants to let you know the journey may be lonely. That's okay. That's okay, but if you sit down and look and pick apart all the feelings that you have, all the experiences, all the feelings that you're feeling in this current moment, you probably are already feeling the loneliness. You can be surrounded by so many people or in a relationship or in a dynamic, in a community that doesn't truly see you and accept you or support you. That itself is already lonely. The decision that you are putting off, that you know you need to make, the one that's going to bring you the most liberation, is hard for you because you have taught yourself that you are not deserving of it. Because every time you have those excited feelings, every time you shoot up into the sky with that excitement, with that joy, with that bliss, somehow you fall back down and you rather not fall. The more you pretend, the more you numb yourself, the more your energy has to work. The more you are blocking yourself from receiving those confirmations, those wake-up calls, the more you decide to abandon your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, the more you hurt and stunt your inner child, the more you step deeper into the shadow. But this is the thing that your spiritual team wants to let you know. You can only go so far down before you jump back up. You can only go so down before you reach the top again. But they want to let you know how many times you want to continue that cycle before you decide to just wade in the water, before you decide to just float. Do you want to keep going down and up, down and up? Is that not tiresome? Is that not using too much energy? Where is the consistency? Your spiritual team is saying that the pursuit of your dreams is the consistency. That's when and that's where you find self-trust. That's when and where you truly learn the real relationship you need with the divine, where you understand your soul's birthright. You understand the promise that is on your life, the favor that is on your life, but it's only through the journey there. It's only through the floating, through the wading in the water. It's not easy to receive messages if you just going to the bottom and back up and constantly moving back and forth. But when you can find that steady, life isn't where it needs to be, but you can steadily get there. That's when you come alive. You want a space where those downloads, those dreams, those possibilities, those visions where you get excited that, oh my gosh, it is possible, it can happen. You want to be in a space where that's your real life, where your spirituality, where, you being connected to the divine, to life source, to that feeling of being almost invincible. You want that to be your daily life. And you can have it. But it's time to start picking apart the emotions. But it's time to start picking apart the emotions that you currently hold on to and revealing the illusions, lifting the veil of what you are pretending to not feel, What are you pretending that you are running away from, where or when in fact you are actually sitting in it? And I know it gets lonely pretending that what you are feeling isn't valid or it isn't worth being addressed, because you have to fight through, you have to make a living, you have to work through life, you have to perform, you have to provide. And you have learned the habit of masking, pretending, putting the emotions to the side so that you can achieve. But that's not how you are going to break that generational cycle. That's not how you are going to get to the life that you know you deserve. It's not by avoiding the emotions and putting your head down and accumulating and achieving. It's about integrating the two, the physical and the spiritual. That's where you're going. You are leaving behind. Your spiritual team wants to let you know this feeling, this confusion, this something is just not right, but you're trying everything, but something isn't working. It's because you're not diving deeper enough into the intuition. You have habits that you need to let go of. You have all this logic of how it's supposed to go, but the intuition guides you. The intuition, you're balancing, you're moving towards balancing the masculine principles and the feminine principles. Understanding that it is great to protect, to go out, to achieve, but it's also great to sit in, to reflect, to nurture, to use your creativity. Denying yourself the life that you know you can have because you are afraid of the pursuit is 9 times out of 10 because you are afraid of the emotions that will surface through that pursuit, and that you are afraid that you won't be able to hide them anymore, that you are afraid that you won't be able to keep them bottled up in the jar like you usually do. Your spiritual team is revealing to you that it is much harder to pretend than it is to work towards that life. It is much harder to pretend that you are content than to grind your way up, or I don't even want to use the word grind, or to work your way up to where you need to be. You are being taught right now, what's being revealed is that you have a voice, that you have truth that is waking up. You may have dreams right now of things that you may have forgotten, or you are processing, you are going through a lot of emotions right now. And that is because you've either prayed something saying you want more, you've opened up the channel to receive, and in order to receive, to reclaim your divine birthright, to get the life you deserve, you also have to receive the shadow self, the inner child. You also have to receive the pain that you told yourself isn't worth addressing, that you told yourself, I'll just put in the back. I don't need this, because you do need that. Every emotion is valuable. Every emotion is telling you something. Every emotion is either bringing you closer to healthier boundaries. It's telling you need to heal something. It's letting you know that you don't feel safe and comfortable around someone. It's letting you know that you are denying yourself of something. Your emotions is your spirituality. It is tied into. Now, you don't have to let your emotions run you. You don't have to let your emotions take the front stage and constantly have you on that up and down movement, that path. But when you learn to befriend your emotions, to address them independently, to say, hello, I see you, I find you, I hear you, I won't ignore you. I can still live my life while addressing my feelings. That's what you're learning. Mm-hmm. Your team is also saying that you are tired of useless traditions, cycles that you want to stand up and talk about so much, that you feel like isn't right, that you feel like you want to change, that you feel like you deserve. But because you're so based on logic, you're telling yourself, well, logically, how is that going to help me? Logically, that's going to cause more harm than good. Logically, that's going to alienate me. Logically, that's going to show my hands. That's going to make me more human, make me vulnerable. But it's the intuition that's guiding you to speak out, to break those cycles, to stand up. Because that is going to liberate you. It's not about the world. How often do you make decisions based on what others think, or how others will respond and how others will receive you? And how often do you make decisions based on just yourself, not caring how you'll be received, not caring what the world will think? To truly get the life you deserve, to be a generational, cycle breaker, to break cycles in your own life, your own past lifetimes, is to learn your interpersonal relationship. And I don't care what anyone says, you don't know God until you know your inner self. You don't. Because if you pretend and keep moving through life pretending like your inner self, your pains, your traumas are unworthy, or that they were mistakes, or they shouldn't have happened, or you push them off, you are denying how God has already shaped your life, how the divine has been shaping your life. You only know God conditionally because you only know yourself conditionally. You can only love someone or something as much as you love yourself. You will never be able to give others the love that they deserve as well by denying yourself this. Now, your spiritual team wants you to prune the roots, not to patch things up, not to pretend, wear the mask again. You know, you're receiving this message and they want you to respect the fact that they sent it to you, that your higher self sent it to you, that you are ready. They want you to take it seriously because you deserve to be taken seriously, because you are serious, because you are worthy, because you are deserving. The biggest feeling that they are giving me about what is causing this current disconnect, this current disappointment, this feeling where you are right now, the emotions that they're giving me about what is shaping your current reality all seem to stem from early development. I'm getting messages like a first love that broke your heart. So now you are afraid to really be vulnerable in love. Now you're afraid to really speak with that intention. Maybe you're really poetic in your youth and life has numbed you and now you feel so cold. I'm getting messages of inner child as well, of being in a community, of being in the space where you could not speak up. You couldn't say what you needed. You couldn't declare what you deserve. You had to accept. You couldn't leave. You couldn't run away. You just had to force to survive. You had to numb to survive. You had to put a mask on to survive. And you're still in that survivor mode where you have taught yourself that in order to live, to be, you have to act like the problem isn't even there. And that is causing your energy to overwork. That is causing you to have unnecessary stress on your body. That's how autoimmune disease begin. By this over energetic work, by your chakras being so out of balance that they produce more, that they produce less, that your body starts to turn on itself because it's not behaving the way that it's supposed to. It's not in it's not in its element. It's not in it's the divine energy that is specific for you. You are living necessarily someone else's life. You're holding on to other people's energy still. You think that you have let these people go. You've let these experiences go. You've let it all go because you don't think about it. You don't address it. You don't talk about it. You may have forced so deep into it that you have forgot about it. But that doesn't mean that it's not in the body. That is not in your energy. That is not in your spirit. Because it is. Energy does not lie. Now, this message is not here to penalize you. Your spiritual team is not delivering this to you to tell you that you're doing life wrong, that you're messing up, that there's another thing for you to fix, that you are constantly going to have to be worked on, that you are unworthy or that you are broken. This is not why this message is being delivered. This message is just being delivered so that you can reclaim your power, and that your power lies and not in avoidance, but in being brave and standing up to the things that you avoid, especially when those things are emotions, experiences, traumas, pains, when it is the shadow self. And if this is resonating with you, if you have made it this far, feel free to find a way to work with me. The information will be in the description. I've updated my offerings so that I can give guidance to those that need it in any form and shape. But let's finish the message, finish the guidance for you, and see what are the tools, how should you move forward with this new information. And if you have made it this far, feel free to engage with the post so that you can be alerted next time I post another offering. The more I grow into how I'm being used by the divine, the more I can help. So join me in the journey. You are being guided right now to heal. There's an opportunity coming for you, whether that's in this upcoming water season or the next upcoming water season, that is in direct alignment with you taking a leap of faith of leaving an old life behind. So the assignment for you is to heal, to focus on doing the shadow work. Book a shadow work reading with me. We can dive into the aspects that are hidden, that need to be revealed, that need to be healed. But your biggest thing that you should focus on right now, what you should focus on, is addressing the emotions as they come. Dream journaling, journal prompts, affirmations, telling yourself it is okay to feel. You should be focused on right now the new you. Who is that? What does that look like? What does the new you look like? The new you who honors their emotions, so that they can not only be the better them for themselves, but also for their family, their loves. Your spiritual team is saying you care so much about others and doing right and having consistency and providing for those that you love. But the biggest thing that you can provide for them is emotional security, is loving yourself, is opening up to yourself, is taking care of your mental, spiritual, and emotional health. Your spiritual team is reminding you that it won't always be easy on this journey to reclaiming your shadow, reclaiming your inner child, reclaiming your narrative, telling your truth. But that's what you need to do in this season, is tell your truth. Tell it to yourself, tell it to the mirror, tell it to a voice note, write it on a paper. Say the things that you are most afraid to say out loud, just for yourself. You don't have to share it. But just start getting comfortable releasing that, letting it go. Do some yoga, do stretches, go to the sauna, go take a spiritual bath, go in a natural body of water, swim, get in nature. That's what you should focus on, doing things that are so outside of your norm, because that's how you level up. That's how you shift. That's how you jump into the new reality. That's where you should focus on right now. And the mindset you should maintain while doing these changes, while shifting, is that it's not always going to be easy, but you are going to defeat the old you. You're going to defeat the obstacles that you are still holding on to, because the obstacles are not outside of us. The obstacles are within us. The outside just reflects the inner. You should also maintain understanding that protecting your energy is spiritual hygiene, that it is important, that withholding yourself from overgiving, overspending, overusing your energy is healthy. Having healthy boundaries is needed and it is essential, and that it is not something that you should feel guilty for. It won't be easy setting up new boundaries. It won't be easy saying no, it won't be easy doing things differently, becoming the real you, but it is worth it. And that's what your spiritual team wants you to realize. You're becoming the real you. The real you has still yet to surface, and it is a beautiful awakening. You are blossoming, you are blooming, and it is a sight to witness. The biggest obstacle that could block you from walking into your new beginning is holding on to the person that you used to be, holding on too tightly that you don't release the bad habits, the bad tendencies, that you don't do the shadow work, that you keep masking. Another obstacle they're giving me is temptation to do the same thing, temptation to mask, temptation to keep running away from the feelings, to keep doing things the way that they used to without slowing down to reflect. You should take Sundays, if you like, to sit and reflect on how things are going, how your emotions are, what you need to change, what needs to be addressed. Because that's how you actively participate in cycle breaking. That's how you actively participate in breaking generational cycles. That's how you actively create a family dynamic or maintain a family dynamic that is healthy, that is centered in truth. You cannot avoid your truth and then hope to raise somebody who doesn't avoid their truth. Even if you don't think that you are teaching them to avoid, you will by your actions. You will. They will pick up on it. You do have some opportunities coming, and they are brighter than you can imagine. And that's why it's so important to do this in a work. Like I said, the next water season, there's one upcoming, and then there's another water season a few months down the line. There can be an opportunity for you to move, to travel. You may meet someone while traveling that can give you some sort of either gift physically or like spiritually or emotionally. You may connect deeply to ancestors or get messages from the divine that you feel are so deeply and resonant with your soul's purpose that it feels like you've been touched by an angel. You will receive more when you tell the world, when you tell the universe that your body can receive more. But when you're holding on to pain, even if you don't believe you're holding on to it because you're masking and lying and saying that it doesn't bother you anymore, you don't have room to receive. The opportunity that is coming is that you can have the brand new life now, because now you have room to receive. You have the space. You can hold it. It is safe in your body. Autoimmune diseases really do begin because we hold on to that pain and we don't realize how much we suffer when doing so. I got Reiki for the first time this past September, and after the Reiki, I had this upper respiratory infection, which I thought was. I went to urgent care, I got antibiotics, I got steroids for it, and it did not go away. I had this upper respiratory, this cough. I had this cough, this awful hacking cough for about 3 months, to the point where I was terrified that I thought, oh my gosh, I have something wrong with my lungs or my body. Like there's something going on. What I realized was that trauma, grief, is stored in the lungs. And that after that Reiki, after that alignment, I was releasing grief. I was releasing energy. My body was finally working the way that it needed to, the way that it was supposed to, that I got sick from being aligned. And that's what your spiritual team is wanting to let you know, that the change is uncomfortable. Yeah, those 3 months of me coughing throughout the night, coughing all the time, sounding like just hacking all the time was not comfortable. But it was a growing pain, and that's the stage that you are in now. But you're about to be blessed with so many opportunities, so many deep divine connections, so many eureka, euphoric moments. You're about to be reborn again. If you think you're too old, if you think that life is it, if you think that you have to, and this is how it's going to be, that's not true. That's false. You are about to see. You will see, but you have to do the inner work first. You have to do the inner work first. I'm so thankful I was able to deliver this message to you. I'm so thankful you sat here. If you made it to the end, please give yourself thanks, because you took this message seriously, and you're going to do the inner work, the inner healing, the body work, the emotional work, the shadow work, the spiritual work, the inner child work. Yeah, it may seem overwhelming, but it's really not. It connects and it flows beautifully. There's growing pains, but every time you look back on those growing pains, there's always a smile. There's always I'm so glad that happened. Sending you love on your journey, sending you truth on your journey. And if you need me, you can find information in the description. I hope you have a great one, and I'll talk to you later.